Marijuana legalization by the numbers. These are the states where recreational marijuana use is legal. These are the states where only medicinal marijuana use is legal. Recreational and medicinal marijuana continues to be illegal under federal law. In 2015, Americans spent $5.4 billion on legal medical and recreational marijuana. Colorado is projected to make $140 million in tax revenue on marijuana sales in 2016. Washington State is projected to make $270 million in tax revenue on marijuana sales in 2016. Oregon collected $3.48 million in the first month that recreational marijuana became legal. Oregon State is projected to make $10.75 million in 2016 on recreational marijuana use. In Colorado, Washington, and Oregon, tax revenue from recreational marijuana sales has been used to build schools and to fund drug abuse prevention campaigns as well as law enforcement. The Tax Foundation projected that the federal government and states where recreational marijuana is not legal are losing out on $28 billion per year. Marijuana prohibition costs the U.S. $465 million per year to arrest people for marijuana possession, and $3.6 billion per year to enforce marijuana laws. Since marijuana legalization in Colorado, there has not been an increase in teens smoking pot. Since legalization in Colorado, fatal and injury crashes attributed to DUI are down from before legalization. Marijuana arrest rates tumbled in Washington and Colorado from 2008 to 2014, dropping by 90% in Washington and 60% in Colorado. But the racial disparity in marijuana-related arrests hasn't changed.
Police arrest more people for marijuana use than for all violent crimes combined. On any given day in the United States, at least 137,000 people sit behind bars on simple drug possession charges, according to a report released Wednesday by the American Civil Liberties Union and Human Rights Watch. Nearly two-thirds of them are in local jails. The report says that most of these jailed inmates have not been convicted of any crime, they're sitting in a cell, awaiting a day in court, an appearance that may be months or even years off, because they can't afford to post bail. It's been 45 years since the war on drugs was declared, and it hasn't been a success, lead author Tess Borden of Human Rights Watch said in an interview. Rates of drug use are not down. Drug dependency has not stopped. Every 25 seconds, we're arresting someone for drug use. Marijuana really can be deadly, but not in the way you probably expect. Federal figures on drug arrests and drug use over the past 3 decades tell the story. Drug possession arrests skyrocketed, from fewer than 200 arrests for every 100,000 people in 1979 to more than 500 in the mid-2000s. The drug possession rate has since fallen slightly, according to the FBI, hovering near 400 arrests per 100,000 people. Defenders of harsh penalties for drug possession say they are necessary to deter people from using drugs and to protect public health. But despite the tough-on-crime push that led to the surge in arrests in recent decades, illicit drug use today is more common among Americans aged 12 and older than it was in the early 1980s. Federal figures show no correlation between drug possession arrests and rates of drug use during that time. But the ACLU and Human Rights Watch report shows that arrests for drug possession continue to make up a significant chunk of modern-day police work. Around the country, police make more arrests for drug possession than for any other crime, the report finds, citing FBI data. More than 1 of every 9 arrests by state law enforcement is for drug possession, amounting to more than 1.25 million arrests each year. In fact, police make more arrests for marijuana possession alone than for all violent crimes combined. Drug cops raid an 81-year-old woman's garden to take out a single marijuana plant. The report finds that the laws are enforced unequally, too. Over their lifetimes, Black and white Americans use illicit drugs at similar rates, according to federal data. But Black adults were more than 2.5 times as likely to be arrested for drug possession. We can't talk about race and policing in this country without talking about the #1 arrest offense, Borden said. The report calls for decriminalizing the personal use and possession of drugs, treating it as a public health matter instead of a criminal one. Rather than promoting health, criminalization can create new barriers to health for those who use drugs, the report says. Criminalization drives drug use underground, it discourages access to emergency medicine, overdose prevention services, and risk-reducing practices such as syringe exchanges. The report reinforces its point by noting the lengthy sentences handed down in some states for possession of small amounts of drugs. For example, it sketches the history of Corey J. Ladd, who was arrested for possessing half an ounce of marijuana during a 2011 traffic stop in New Orleans. Because he had convictions for 2 prior offenses involving the possession of small amounts of hydrocodone and LSD, he was sentenced in 2013 to 17 years in prison as a habitual offender. He is currently appealing the sentence to Louisiana's Supreme Court. Corey's story is about the real waste of human lives, let alone taxpayer money, of arrest and incarceration for personal drug use, Borden said. He could be making money and providing for his family. The DEA wants to ban another plant. Researchers say the plan is insane. But Ladd's treatment is far from the harshest drug possession sentence uncovered by ACLU and Human Rights Watch researchers, who conducted analyses of arrest and incarceration data from Florida, New York, and Texas. In Texas, for instance, 116 people are currently serving life sentences on charges of simple drug possession. 7 of those people earned their sentences for possessing quantities of drugs weighing between 1 gram and 4 grams, or less than a typical sugar packet. That's because Texas also has a habitual offender law, allowing prosecutors to seek longer than normal sentences for people who have 2 prior felonies. In 2015, more than 78% of people sentenced to incarceration for felony drug possession in Texas possessed under a gram, the report found.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month. Oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.